What is up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, which means that's time for another live Q&A. As always, I'm your host, Paul, and I am here to answer any questions you might have about dropshipping onto different marketplaces like eBay, like Facebook Marketplace, like Amazon. So if you've watched some of my videos and you've seen some of the different ways that I show how to dropship, you have questions about what I talked about, come to one of these live streams. I do them every single Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and I'll do my best to answer your questions that you might have. All right, let's jump right into the live chat, see who's here, and see what questions people have. All right, so Brett says, "Hey Paul, hope you're doing well, and thanks for doing these live streams for the community. My pleasure, man. What is your personal bookkeeping method for eBay?" All right, so the short answer is that my current bookkeeping method is I have a bookkeeper for my business. This is someone who actually goes in, pulls everything from all my different businesses, eBay, Amazon, everything, and does the bookkeeping for me. And that's because I have multiple businesses, multiple streams of income, and it's gotten quite complicated over the years. But in the beginning, I definitely wasn't doing that. I definitely didn't have a bookkeeper. And more of what I was doing was just keeping track of everything myself. There are some programs you can use like QuickBooks or GoDaddy Bookkeeping. You should speak to your accountant, whoever does your taxes for you, and ask them what it is that they're going to need from you. Sometimes they'll need like your 1099, but you'll also need to prove or show how much you've spent on inventory as well, and that's what the bookkeeping is for. So they might say, hey, make sure you do it with QuickBooks or GoDaddy is fine. And that's what you want to do because they're the ones who are going to be using that information from the books. So you have to make it accessible to them to be able to use that. All right. Cantasti says, other than using the Vero list, can you please explain exactly what not to list? I avoid things that can cause problems during shipping, and I don't sell foods, supplements, or major electronics. Yeah, great question. So let me first explain the Vero part of this for other people who aren't familiar with it, because there are some brands on eBay that really don't want you to sell their products. At least if you're going to sell it, they don't want you to use their stock images and their stock descriptions. So for us dropshippers, that pretty much means that we can't sell those products. So as you're doing product research, if you're using like Zeek Analytics, it's going to warn you and say like, hey, this is a Vero product, so you should avoid it. As you go to list the product with like AutoDS, it's going to tell you, hey, this is a Vero product, so you're going to want to avoid it. If you don't avoid it, you could run the risk of getting in trouble with eBay. They may give you a warning at first, and then after a second warning or so, they might close down your account for a day, and then 2 days, and then 3 days, and if it keeps happening, then they might actually close your account permanently. So you want to avoid that from happening. And the easiest way is just to look for those warnings and avoid those Vero products. Now, there are some other items that may be a good idea for you to avoid. So first of all, let's see the ones that you talked about. So food, supplements, or major electronics, or items that may cause problems during shipping. So I used to be concerned about certain items and how they might be shipped. So for instance, anything that was glass, for a while I was avoiding drop shipping any glass items because I thought they would break in transit. What ended up happening though is that a lot of the suppliers that you're going to drop ship from, they have the packaging down to a science. So if there are items that they have found that often will break in transit, they will either not sell those items anymore, or at least not make them available for shipping, or they will find a way to package them better. It just got really dark in here. I think the sun just went behind a cloud. So super dark in here all of a sudden. So I don't really worry about items like that anymore because the supplier is going to take care of it for you, and it's not really an issue. As for the other things, yeah, I don't sell a lot of food, or most foods. I don't sell supplements, and I also don't sell major electronics. Those ones, foods and supplements can spoil. They can, they have expiration dates, and major electronics I tend to avoid those only because like my suppliers like Walmart, they actually won't ship they won't ship those items if you order too many of them. So it's kind of just better to avoid them anyway. Let me see if I could turn on one of my lights here. How do I do this? Does this work? Ah, that worked. Does this work? All right, I think that's enough light. Does this work? No, okay. Okay, next question. Let's see. Cyberplayer says, I set my Amazon profit settings on AutoDS. Are you talking about drop shipping on Amazon or from Amazon? Because I'm not, either way, I'm not quite following you. Yeah, I'm kind of lost. Just let me know if you're drop shipping from Amazon or to Amazon. Question from Cantaste. Says, do you avoid putting the brand name in the title or in the description, or if the image shows a brand name, do you exclude that image? I don't exclude images, even if it has a brand name in it. I do not put brand names in the title generally because usually a lot of the brands I sell aren't very popular brands, so I don't find that it helps people buy it, helps it rank. So I just avoid brand names and titles in general, unless it is a brand that people are going to be searching for. And if I'm using the title builder software from like Zeek Analytics, and it tells me that that is a brand that people actually search for when they're looking for that specific product, then yeah, I will include it in it. Unless, of course, it's a Vero brand, in which case I'm not selling it at all. And then if it's in the description, I leave it in there. I don't care about that. Matthew says, have your Facebook sales slowed? Excuse me. A little tired today. This is because the sun went away. Has your Facebook sales slowed beyond the normal ranges since Facebook Marketplace peak? No, I wouldn't say. Well, actually, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. But yeah, it definitely, sales on Facebook Marketplace aren't as good as they were, I would say, a year and a half ago. But I don't think they've slowed dramatically. They just aren't at the peak that they were a year and a half ago. But that's the way a lot of businesses are right now. Before inflation really hit, people were spending a lot of money on all the marketplaces, and things have definitely slowed down more, I would say, back to normal levels more than anything else. Mm-hmm. Coret says, oh, now the sun's like super bright again. Okay, so Cored says, I know that break even is an effective method when you are starting out selling on eBay. Should you be doing that on Facebook Marketplace as well? Yeah, it's not a bad idea to do it on Facebook Marketplace as well, just to kind of get your sales going. In the beginning, as a new seller on all these marketplaces, it is going to take you a little bit of time to gain traction. So one of the best ways to gain traction is to list up a lot of items and at a lower price and a lower profit margin, just to get the ball rolling, break even, and then you can start to raise your prices to make some profit and then some serious profit on top of that. Uzman says, what are your thoughts on TikTok Shop /Marketplace? To be honest, I haven't looked at it. I haven't tried selling everywhere that's available out there. That's not really my style. You'll see a lot of YouTubers, they'll be like, oh, this week they'll try selling on TikTok, and next week it's selling on Shopify, and next week it's selling on eBay. That hasn't really been my style. I think anyone can make some sales on every marketplace pretty easily, but whether you can build a sustainable business behind that, that's entirely different. And for myself, I found that the places that I can do that are eBay, Facebook, and Amazon. And I'm not the type of person to bounce around a lot. I rather find something that works and scale it up. So I haven't tried that. In general, I just am not a fan of TikTok. I don't even like having it on my phone. I've deleted it from my phone just because I find it to be so addicting. So in general, I don't even post there anymore. I'm just not a big fan of it. All right. Next question from Earl. Wait, no. George says, "Hey, Paul, I saw your video about AI affiliate marketing. Do you have a course on that?" I don't. I never considered making a course about it. I do affiliate marketing. That's one of my businesses. But I didn't think you guys were that interested in it. But if I'm wrong about that, let me know. And sorry about these weird pop-ups. Let me know, and maybe I will make some more materials about it. I feel like in general, I feel like I'm a little distracted today. The sun keeps going in and out, so I keep having to turn my light on and off. I keep having these things pop up on the screen. Now it's not popping up. So I just feel like I'm a little bit all over the place. So let me take a deep breath and answer your questions for you. But this is a good reminder to make sure you're giving the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. But yes, George, let me know if you are interested in affiliate marketing and using AI to help you do that. I can definitely, consider making more videos about it if people are interested. Because AI is something I've been using with my affiliate marketing, and it's been going quite well. Been helping out quite a bit. Brett says, "Can you automate bookkeeping with QuickBooks, like having it connect with eBay and Amazon?" I believe so. I know you can do that definitely with GoDaddy bookkeeping, which is why a lot of e-commerce sellers love it. I believe QuickBooks connects with eBay and Amazon. However, there's always going to be work for you to do. Like you have to reconcile the books, whatever that means. So there's definitely work that you would still have to do. Earl says, "If dropshipping using Amazon, how do you avoid your Amazon account getting suspended?" So Earl, there's two ways to do this. If you're going, I got to turn these off, guys. This is getting ridiculous. Okay. The reactions are off now. There are two ways to do this. The first way is you dropship from Amazon and don't use Amazon Prime. So that primarily means you're going to stick with items that are over $35. If you're going to sell items under $35, you have to add in the cost of shipping, which kind of gets prohibitive. So it just makes sense to do that for items over $35. If you do that, Amazon's going to let you drop ship from them, but because you're not going to be using Prime. You don't want Prime on your account. If you have an Amazon Prime account and you use it for drop shipping, your Prime account is going to get shut down. If you have a regular Amazon account and use it for drop shipping without Prime, you're going to be fine. So that's technique number one. The second technique is you're going to have to set up multiple Amazon Prime accounts, and some of them will get shut down and you'll have to open up new ones. So it is complicated. It is more advanced, but that's how you see people selling Amazon products that are under $35 without adding in the shipping costs. Why is Amazon holding my payments as a reserve balance? All the marketplaces do this, Uzman. So the reason they do this is because they want to make sure that you are not going to defraud the customers or the marketplace. So you get a sale, now you have to ship the customer the item. The marketplace wants to make sure that you actually ship it and the customer is satisfied before the money is released to you. So that's why the money is released to you on a rolling basis, to prevent that from happening. Because otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to get the money. A scammer could just run off with the money, make a lot of sales very quickly, run off with the money, and now the marketplace is on the hook for all those costs. So that's why they do that. So this is why it's a good idea to use a credit card when you're starting out, or always use a credit card, place your orders. Once Amazon or whatever marketplace releases the money to you, you can pay off the card and keep the rest as profit. Brett says, "Can you order thousands of items a day from Amazon, or will there eventually be daily order limits or account restrictions from ordering to different locations, assuming you're not using a Prime account. If you're not using a Prime account, I haven't heard of it being an issue at all. There are individual products that Amazon won't let you order more than a certain number of, but those are rare, I would say. They don't come up that often. But other than that, I've never heard of anyone having an issue as long as they're not using Amazon Prime. Do you recommend gift receipts for Amazon orders, or do they typically not include invoices? I actually recommend not using gift receipts because a lot of times they don't include the invoice. But if you choose a gift receipt option, then they will include a slip of paper. I won't say the price on there, but the buyer could scan it. So it's better just not to include it. From Amazon on my eBay store. So what was your question? I set my Amazon profit settings on auto yes to $5. Fees at 15%, 30% for additional fees. I'm not sure what that's about. Yeah, I'm not. This doesn't seem right to me. I'm not sure why you have a 30% additional fee or even 15% for your fee. That's too high. And then an additional profit for $3. I'm not sure what all these extra costs there are for. It doesn't look right to me though. Forever a Legend says, how much money would I need to start eBay dropshipping? So you actually don't need a lot. There's not a lot of upfront cost compared to most businesses. You're not going to be buying the inventory up front. You don't need a warehouse. You don't need to buy a website, like a domain. You don't need to build a website. It's free to sign up on eBay. The only thing you need really is a credit card. And that credit card is what you're going to use to fulfill your orders until the money is released to you. And then again, you can pay off your credit card and keep the rest as profit. So that's really all you need. If you don't have a credit card, then you would need a bank account and a debit card and, a few $100s in that bank account in order to get started. I use a local account. Yeah. Lorenzo, my email is paul@pauljlipsky.com. paul@pauljlipsky.com. Yes, making websites using AI for affiliate marketing is next on my list. Please do more of that. All right, yeah, I'll take a screenshot of that and consider that. I think you guys really liked that video before. Is web interpret worth it? Actually, I don't know what that is. Never heard of that. Mohammed says, is there new fees, VAT fees? I'm not following. I'm not sure where these fees are that you're talking about. I'm in the United States. We don't have VAT, so I'm not quite sure what you mean or what you're referring to. If you don't have a credit card, then again, you'll want a bank account with a few $100s in it and a debit card that's tied to that bank account. Justin says, when did you start seeing results when you started? So there's sort of two answers to this, Justin. The first answer is that when I started listing up products for sale on eBay, I made my first sale within about a week, and I was making regular sales within my first month. But I wasn't making any serious kind of money with it. I was sort of like limping along for a few months, just kind of like breaking even, a little bit more than that, like maybe making like a couple $100s a month, which wasn't a lot compared to how many hours I was putting in. But eventually, about 7 or 8 months in, I figured it out, so to speak. Like I figured out what was working and what wasn't, and I did more of what was working. And that's when sales really took off for me. So if you know all those sort of ins and outs, it took me like 7 or 8 months to learn, you can get started and see results much faster than I did. I just didn't know what I was doing for a while. So that's kind of the answer of when I saw results, really after that 7 to 8 months. Reality says, I know you specialize in dropshipping with eBay and Facebook Marketplace, but I just started dropshipping on Etsy. Does selling multiple of unrelated products hurt my store? So I'm not an expert on Etsy at all. I've tried dropshipping on Etsy and I wasn't able to sell anything, to be honest. And that's because I think it's because I don't understand Etsy. It's a different marketplace. People go there looking for different products than they look for on eBay, Amazon, and Facebook Marketplace, right? Etsy, they're looking for more homemade looking items, vintage looking items. Even though a lot of the items aren't those things, that's what people are going for, sort of like that vibe. And it's not something that I am familiar with selling a lot of those types of products. So I think that's why I didn't do well with it. So I'm not the best person to ask about this. And to be honest, I'm not even quite sure what you're asking. Does selling multiple of unrelated products hurt my store? I will say for most marketplaces, selling a wide range of different products does not hurt your store. So you can sell, like on eBay, tools, you can sell water bottles, you can sell, tables, you can sell, dishes, all like a assortment range of different items, and it doesn't hurt you like it would if you were selling on your own website. So I'm assuming it's sort of like the same thing on Etsy as well, where those sort of things just don't matter and it's totally fine if you sell like such a wide assortment of stuff. Mohammed says, how to do SEO manually for eBay. I'm doing drop shipping, but not getting any sales. On what should I have to do? So if you're not making sales on eBay, it really almost always comes down to one of just a few things. First, if you're not finding the right products, and that comes down to product research. So you do want to make sure you learn how to research products, how to find the best ones, how to see the sales history, and how to find items similar to that on your supplier's website. That's the first thing. That's usually where most people go wrong, is they're not doing product research correctly. The second thing I would look at are your titles. You do want to make sure that you have well-optimized titles. This means using a title builder software like the one that's built into Zeek Analytics so that you're able to really fill it with keywords that people are searching for and use when they're actually looking for the item that you're selling. So that'd be the second thing. Really, those two things are going to be the most important. Everything else is pretty straightforward, plugging it into software, pricing it correctly. All that stuff is sort of done automatically. It's really the product research and the optimization that you have to master. And that's usually where most people go wrong. Brett says, what do you think the best publicly available wholesale suppliers are for dropshipping on Walmart and Amazon? Well, dropshipping on Walmart is a tough game. Walmart is very aggressive about shutting down dropshippers. So I would tread into that very carefully. It's also really hard to get an account approved to sell on Walmart. So for beginners, for most people, it's not where I recommend you sell at all. I think somewhere like even Amazon's easier than that, and Amazon's hard for drop shipping, but certainly somewhere like eBay and Facebook is going to be easier. Now, as far as wholesale suppliers go, part of the challenge with wholesale, and it's also one of the benefits, is that finding a good wholesale supplier is difficult. Like that is part of the challenge with it. It really requires you to do some searching around on your own. No one is going to reveal good wholesale suppliers to you. And if someone says, hey, here's a list of dropshipping wholesale suppliers that you can use, they probably aren't really wholesale suppliers, or they're charging you for the list, or those wholesale suppliers are going to charge you to set up accounts, and they're going to have crappy items that no one wants to buy anyway. If you want to do it the right way, you have to do some searching around. Find wholesale suppliers, contact them, negotiate with them so they agree to drop ship for you. That is the best way to do it if you're looking for good ones. That's how I found my best ones. And it is a lot of work, but that's what keeps out everyone else from doing it. And you really only need one or two, or even just one good supplier for wholesale, and it can make your entire business. So it is definitely worth it to put in that time. Lorenzo says AutoDS has a add-on where you can have VA access for $14.97 a month. Lorenzo wants to know if I use that service with my VAs, or do you let them log in directly to AutoDS and save the $15? So this is up to you, Lorenzo, and how much access you want to give them. So I have one virtual assistant who I completely trust, so she can just log into my account and I wouldn't have a problem with that. However, it is nice to be able to limit some stuff. Even though there's a lot of trust there, it's like, well, she doesn't need to access all of these settings and all of these controls. So paying that $15 a month just for that sort of safety and security when it's a business cost anyway, it makes sense for me. I appreciate that I'm able to do that. X says, do I need to switch my account to a business account when drop shipping, even if you also sell products that you fulfill? Oh, I see what you mean. So you're selling products from your house anyway. It doesn't really matter if you have a business account or personal account. However, if you're just starting out, you want to choose business account because oftentimes that will give you higher limits. So if you're new, choose business account. But if you already have an eBay account and your limits are fine and it's a personal account, you can try to switch, but it's difficult. It's kind of a process. So it's fine to just leave it as a personal account. Vero only becomes an issue when you start to get suspensions for it. So eBay will give you a 1-day suspension, then like a 2, then a 3, then like a week suspension. That's when you're gonna get worried when something like that happens. All right, we got a pro tip here from, I keep saying, I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm gonna say it's Cantaste maybe. Says that Discover card is 2% cash back and was pretty easy to get. 1% plus 1%. Yeah, there's some great credit cards out there. If you're doing drop shipping, you want to be using a good credit card that gives you good cash back or good points because you can rack them up really fast. So great cards are ones like the Discover card gives you 1% back. Then at the end of the year, they match all the money they gave you and basically double it. So it's 2%. Another one is the Capital One Spark card, which gives you 2% back flat, no limits on that, and there's no categories on that. So you're going to get 2% on everything. That's a great card I've been using for a long time if you're into cash back. They also have a points version, so you can rack up credit card points. Lots of great options. A lot of these cards have really great sign-up bonuses, but what I would be more focused on as a drop shipper is what are the ongoing benefits? Because the sign-up bonuses are great, but this business will allow you to put a lot of money onto your cards, so on an ongoing basis. So you do want a card that gives you great benefits ongoing. So the next one I'm looking at is the Ink Business Card by Chase. There are some great perks to that one. One of the ones I like on it is that if you pay your phone bill with that card and your phone's part of your business, then if your phone breaks, then they'll actually replace it for you, which is pretty sweet. And there's some other benefits there as well. So always be careful with credit cards. Make sure you use them responsibly, of course. Make sure you pay them bounce off in full. But you can rack up a lot of free travel using them, especially with drop shipping. Lorenzo says, with AutoDS, what is the auto ordering system that costs $8 a month? Do you recommend this additional service, and what does it do? So AutoDS has something built in where it will actually, every time you get an order on eBay, it will actually order that item from Amazon, from Walmart, from some other websites for you automatically, so you don't have to do it. It does cost extra money, and there are a few fees involved. You have to pay to unlock it. You have to pay for credits, and you have to load up your account with money, and it costs money to load up your account as well. So in the beginning, I actually recommend you don't use this because of those fees, partly, but also because you want to understand how the system works. You don't want the automated system at first, because the automated system isn't perfect. Sometimes it won't work, and you have to know that. And the only way you're going to know that is if you've placed the orders manually already. So that's why I recommend beginners don't use it. Also, I'm tax exempt. So if I use the auto ordering, the way I was looking at it, you are using AutoDS's accounts, which aren't tax exempt. So I actually make more money by just doing it myself with my own accounts. Hey, what's up, Robert? No worries. Glad you're here. Brett says, is $10 profit viable for starting out? It's not a dollar amount, it's percentage. You shouldn't be basing your profit on dollar amount. Like, you shouldn't be saying, I'm trying to make $10 profit every time I sell an item. You should do it on a percentage. So again, at first you're just trying to really break even. Then you can raise it up to like 5% profit margin, and then up to 10%, and you can go up as you begin to make more sales. No, you don't need an LLC for a business account. Lorenzo says AutoDS has a mentor program for $60 a month. That's up to you. I mean, you can, if you're a member of my course, you're already getting that from me, so you probably don't need it. Lorenzo says, with AutoDS, what is a product finding hub? What does it do? Do you recommend paying $15 a month for that service? So that will find you items that you can drop ship primarily from China, like from AliExpress. I don't use it for eBay because I don't use AliExpress for eBay, but I do use it for Amazon. So actually I do use that service, the finding hub, when selling on Amazon, is one of the things I've looked at. I have videos about Track Taco inside my course, but I don't have any videos on YouTube about it, but it is actually very easy to use. I think once you log in, you should be able to figure it out. It is possible to use a debit card if you use it the way I talked about before, but it's better to use a credit card. Lorenzo says, can you get tracking numbers from AutoDS if they do not fulfill orders for you? I don't think so. If you want to use AutoDS's tracking numbers, whether that's through Aqualine or one of the other ones they have, you have to use their auto ordering. You can't just get tracking numbers. Hey, what's up, Miami? Thanks for being here. Okay, so I answered this one already. Can we sell lava lamp bulbs from Amazon to people in California? I'm not sure. California, there's some items you can't ship there. Try adding it to your cart and just adding in a California address and see what pops up. Yes. Gerardo says, if I cancel an order because of issues with an address, does that affect my store? It shouldn't. There is an option in there when you cancel saying something's wrong with the address. However, to protect yourself, I would always send a message to the customer first. The message should say two things. It should say, one, we can't ship to your address because XYZ, because we tried plugging it into the USPS website and they said it's not a valid address, or something like whatever the issue is. That's usually what I say, is that we're told that's not a valid address by the USPS. And then I say, because of that, we have to cancel the order because eBay requires us to ship to the address that was given to us. So even if you give us a different address, we are not allowed to ship there, because if we do, we don't get seller protection. So we have to cancel the order. If you still want this item, you can reorder it with an address that is accepted by the USPS. X says that Chase Freedom Flex is a good card as well. No, I don't use Fulfilled by AutoDS because we are tax exempt and we use our own accounts. Yeah, they changed it to 35. It was interesting because I would say a few months ago I was talking about this, and I was talking about how Amazon Prime, you get free shipping on orders that are under $25. And people in the chat were saying, oh, it's $35. And I was like, what? And I logged into Amazon and mine still said $25, but a lot of other people still said $35. And now mine says $35 as well. So it seems they bumped it up. If you don't have a Prime account, you only get free shipping on orders that are over $35, not $25. Yeah, for my non-Prime account, yeah, we avoid items that are under $35 unless we double them up. Some items will sell as a 2-pack. I don't use TrackerBot. I used to, but I don't use TrackerBot. Yeah, look at different products then. If there are competitors for the products you're looking at, look for different products, use different suppliers. With drop shipping, there's really no limit, right? That's what's so easy about it, or what's so great about it, I should say. If you're selling certain products and all of a sudden it becomes too competitive, there's plenty of other products you can sell. There's thousands, tens of thousands of retail of suppliers out there, whether it's retail and wholesale, and so many products that they sell, like hundreds of thousands of products. So it can't possibly become saturated because there just are so many different products that you can sell. You just have to go out there and do the work and add new products to your store. eBay gave me a 75,000 item limit on one of my stores. Do you think they'll take that away? No, that's not unusual at all. So that's great you got that. I don't think they're going to take that away. I believe they charge extra for the tracking numbers, but you can't get it. You can't get Aqualine outside of AutoDS, I'm pretty sure. No, I don't use Prime accounts for drop shipping. I've never heard of a retailer called Morrison. I don't know what that is. But generally, customers don't care if their items come in a box with a different logo on it. So we haven't seen that to really be an issue. I don't use it, so I'm not certain. Look on their website. They should tell you. You might have to buy credits for that. Yeah. Are there any tools that have a barcode scanner like Keepa for eBay? I don't know. I don't need that for my business because it's just not the way we do drop shipping, so it's not necessary. So like we just find products on retailers' websites, wholesale products on wholesalers' websites, and we just list them up for sale. We don't interact with the barcode or need the barcode at all for what we do. All right. Well, that's all the questions for this week, everyone. Thanks so much for the awesome questions. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you appreciated it. And if you have any questions that weren't answered, make sure to come to the next live Q&A. I do them every single Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Come get your questions answered. Also, in the description of this video are a ton of free resources for you. Make sure to check them out. Get them. They're absolutely for free. And I'll see you next week for the next live Q&A. Bye for now.